From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us for this look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, Trojan fans now know that the football team is playing its last season under head coach Larry Blakeney. After 23 seasons as head coach of the Trojans, Larry Blakeney announced that number 24 will be his last. Courtney Addison has the details.
On Monday morning, Trojan football head coach Larry Blakeney stepped up to the lectern to address the Trojan Nation to let them know that this will be his last season.
So it's time for me probably to move on, and the opportunity to finish coaching this team, especially where we are at this juncture in this season, is going to be one that I hope we can make a rewarding one.
There is still half a season left to play. However, Blakeney hopes that the decision to make the announcement now will help make his last season a success.
It's had a lot of thought put into it, I think, and you know, it was time to do something, and maybe a time that with that type of announcement might be a motivator, you know, might get some folks involved. I know there's a lot of folks involved on my phone and my email and my text the last 48 hours. So maybe we get everybody stirred up, we can get some things going.
Although Blakeney is retiring as head coach, he still plans to continue working with Trojan Athletics.
I still will hopefully, and I think for sure, maintain some kind of presence at Troy and try to help Troy University through assisting John Hartwell, our Director of Athletics, and Dr. Jack Hawkins, our Chancellor, and any projects and whatever that I can do, you know, along the way to make sure that I continue to be a part of this great university.
And Blakeney appreciates the support the Trojan family has already given him at this time.
It's good to know that within your organization and within your big circle of people, you got a lot of folks. Our phones have blown up. Janice and I both been texting since about half the night and this morning, and that's tremendous, man. People care. People care about this program, and that's a good thing, and that will sustain this program through whatever. Larry Blakeney's been here 24 years, and he's moving on to another horizon in his life, retirement. Hey, the next guy here with the interest that the people have in this program will sustain whomever that is to greater heights.
Athletic Director John Hartwell says a nationwide search for a new coach is already underway, and he hopes to be able to make an announcement by December. And it's not time for spring cleaning just yet, but this past week, a popular Troy University landmark got a good scrub down. As Courtney Addison shows us, it took a lot more than just elbow grease to get the Trojan statue in tip-top shape just in time for homecoming.
It was like 2 years, just a major adrenaline rush.
Those are the thoughts that come to mind when the designer of this landmark, Larry Strickland, thinks about creating the statue 10 years ago. Every day, hundreds of students walk past the Trojan Warrior statue and don't look twice. But what many students don't know is that it almost wasn't made.
We wanted to do something that was like a signature piece for the university. This was in 1999. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And then finally we weren't happy with the Millennium Tower. And so they decided, you know, can you do a Trojan? So I said, sure.
The statue took about 4 years to complete from start to finish. It was completed in 2004 and hadn't been cleaned since. After looking at a magazine one Saturday morning, Strickland realized it was time to fix that.
I saw an article in the Alabama magazine about a month ago, and they did a picture of it, and it was black. You remember, it's black. Well, that wasn't how it was supposed to look.
And what was his reaction when I told him I had no idea what the color of this statue was supposed to be?
It's amazing to me that a lot of the students have never seen it as the original way it was, which was very gold, a lot of gold and colors.
Members of the SGA volunteered time throughout the week to help Strickland clean the statue. Courtney Addison, Troy TrojanVision News.
Troy University's Big Read project is designed to promote reading in the Troy community, but an important part of reading is having a book to read. Organizers of the project helped with that problem with a book sale. Victoria Sabina has the details.
This month, Troy University is celebrating its National Endowment for the Arts Big Read program. The used book sale was held in Eldridge Hall.
This is one of the activities of the Big Read, a federal grant that we've received this year, and our whole idea is to promote reading. And so we have collected all of these books that other people have read, and we've offered them for sale today. We have been really busy. Lots of people have come by to buy books.
All earned money from this sale will be used to buy new books for children.
Paperbacks are 50 cents, hardbacks are $1, and all the money that we make with this book sale is going to purchase more books for children in the area who don't have books in their home.
Some students explained why this sale is important for them.
I love to read, and I think the money's going to a pretty good cause. Actually, I bought 3 books that I just thought looked interesting that I've never read before. 2 by Mary Brown. One's called Dragon's Eggs, and the other is Pigs Don't Fly, and then The Undomestic Goddess by Sophie.
As Ben Book Week was also the part of Ari's Big Read program, students can purchase some of them on the used book sale.
Part of what Big Read believes, and we do here at the university too, is that maybe not every book is appropriate, maybe not every book is a good book to read or a well-written book, but who is the one who has the authority to say, no, this one can't be read? Now, that just doesn't exist.
I think we all have a right to read whatever's out there.
If you didn't have opportunity to buy a book today, you can still come tomorrow to Eldridge Hall till noon. Victoria Sabinina, TrojanVision News.
Troy University is full of different cultures from all over the world, and each of those cultures hope to share their history and beliefs with fellow Troy students. Raven Adara shows us how one organization shared its culture over the weekend.
The Deshay Festival is a celebration of culture, identity, and community.
This is a traditional festival for the Nepali culture. As they mentioned earlier, it is very equivalent to our Christmas, and we celebrate it every year, and we really enjoy having this cross-cultural experience for Troy.
It is usually celebrated during October or November, and it signifies the victory of good over evil. So it's a celebration, it's a time for family and friends to just come together and have a lot of fun.
Troy students enjoyed an authentic taste of Nepal, as well as the opportunity to experience traditional performances.
I guess my favorite part is just learning about what the festival is about, how they celebrate, and like how they share those values with their people, and how this sense of community affects them. It's really interesting.
The dancing and singing, explanation about the holiday and clothes.
Many lined up to receive a blessing through the Tika ritual, an important part of the festival.
The main thing about today is the Tika and Jamara. That is like a blessing from the elders to us, and the elder people, they put on the Tika and Jamara to the younger ones with lots of blessings.
An annual blessing is given, and it's always performed by the elder. They put the Tika on the forehead, and they give a flower and a piece of fruit to the person being blessed.
The Deshay Festival brought a sense of community and family to Troy University.
This is actually my first time. I'm having a really good time, and I'm looking forward for the next one.
Raven Adara, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Troy University's theater department is bringing a musical made popular on film to the Trojan Center stage. Haley Greathouse gives us a look at Troy's production of Little Shop of Horrors.
A human-eating flower is the star of this semester's musical. Troy University's Department of Theater and Dance presents Little Shop of Horrors.
It's about 3 people that work a flower shop, and it's a quirky little guy and a very dramatic girl, and they happen to fall in love. Seymour, the guy, he discovers this plant, and the only way it grows is by blood, and so he ends up only eating blood, and he ends up having to feed him people throughout the play.
And audience members are able to get an up-close and personal perspective on the play.
The audience gets to actually sit on the stage with us for this performance, so we're hoping that we really can get them involved with what's going on in the story.
One actor has had some unique struggles to deal with during production.
Learning to emote with a puppet, because in the puppet, I'm not Mohammed, I'm this big plant, and this isn't my face. Like, my whole body is my face. So instead of just making a mean face, I have to, like, you know, lean over to the side and do all this weird stuff. It's awesome though.
And actors say a scene near the beginning is their favorite.
My favorite part is Skid Row, because you come out and you get to see what we live in and what we have to deal with from day to day.
Skid Row, because it's all of us on stage together. I get to dance and sing and act. It's just all of us, and we all come together, and it's one just big, powerful, like, energetic number.
And what do audience members have to look forward to?
They have to look forward to a love story and just a really just crazy, freaky, like almost horror movie, but really cheesy, fun thing.
The show runs at 7:30 on Friday and Saturday with a 2:30 show on Sunday, and the same goes for next week as well. Tickets are available at the Troy University box office. And we'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll take a look at some of the homecoming activities Troy students have participated in throughout the week. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
We served our country like those before us.
The camaraderie is what kept me going. You know, it was a dangerous area. All of Vietnam was dangerous.
I didn't know what to expect when I got back.
For the first 10 years after I got out, no one would have known that I was in the service.
I got home, got married 2 weeks later, got a job.
We came back, built lives, families, and communities, but we still had challenges.
The carnage of war left an indelible mark on me.
I would have intrusive thoughts. They're horrible nightmares.
Services and support that can help are available for veterans.
I went to the VA, talked to my doctor.
I started doing groups. I started doing one-on-one counseling.
We found ways to move past these challenges for ourselves and for our families. At MakeTheConnection.net, you can hear our stories and find tools and services available to you.
The more I talk to people, family, friends, other vets, the better I feel.
Now, more of the award-winning Troy TrojanVision News.
This is homecoming week, and even though the big football game is on Saturday, there's always plenty of heated competition throughout the week between Troy University's student organizations. Angel Norris gives us a look at one of the most popular events, the dance competition.
There was a packed house waiting to see the homecoming dances last night. Greeks and non-Greeks gathered to see how hard each organization has been working, especially with the changes and the new rules being brought this year.
This year there's no like tumbling, there's no like flips or anything like that. You know, first of all, we just wanted people to be safer and everything, but we also wanted to kind of give like a fair advantage to every organization that was competing, because we opened it up to more. We have a male, female, and a co-ed division, and we really wanted to include the residence halls this year, so we really wanted to make it better and fair and more enjoyable for everyone too, and make it actually more about the dancing than about the flips and all the pretty stuff.
The theme for homecoming this year is getting back to our roots. We are one. All the participants this year came out in their camo to show what they were made of and honor the military.
For campus activities, Heath Barton and our homecoming director, William Johnson, spent this summer thinking about, how they would like to celebrate homecoming this year. And they really started thinking about the roots of Troy University and how diverse those roots are.
Hard work and military pride could definitely be seen through each and every dance performed on that stage last night.
I'm telling you, the sororities and fraternities are always tremendously creative, and we knew that even without the stunts that they would be able to be so creative.
Angel Norris, Troy TrojanVision News.
And this year's homecoming theme is getting back to our roots. So in the spirit of the roots theme, a tree of balloons was set up in the Trojan dining facility. However, as Casey Freeman shows us, the tree is more than just decoration. It holds a chance for a student to win a scholarship.
This year for homecoming, the Student Government Association held a scholarship drive for students. The scholarship remained with the theme of going back to our roots with the creation of a tree.
What's going on is the tree symbolizes Troy getting back to our roots, which is the homecoming theme this week. And basically we're just taking donations. A leaf is $3, and so you can buy a leaf and you can put your name on it, and that goes into a drawing. And what happens if we pick a student and that person wins a scholarship? The Alumni Association is doubling the money that we make to go towards a scholarship. So that's what this is all about, is giving back to the Troy students.
Some students believe this is a great addition to the homecoming festivities.
Our roots and the roots of a tree, and it gets people involved in homecoming, and it benefits the students by giving away the scholarship.
A member of the Student Government Association says the scholarship is not just through the SGA.
I am very enthusiastic that the Alumni Association is partnering with us to increase the scholarship value. I think that's awesome, and I think it's just a great way that something like a scholarship is coming out of homecoming week and giving it back to the students.
And probably one of the easiest competitions throughout the week is one that has the longest lasting results, Palladium Picture Day. As Dustin Allen shows us, students can make memories while getting points for their organization.
The Troy University yearbook, The Palladium, held Photo Day today in the Trojan Center for all Troy University students. The editor-in-chief tells us why taking a photo is so important.
Today is Photo Day. The purpose of today is to get as many possible students who are Greek affiliated or not Greek affiliated to come and get their picture taken so they can be commemorated in our year for Troy University.
One student shared why she came out to get involved.
Well, it's just a really fun time at Troy with homecoming week, and it's a great way to get participation points for your organization, and also just, I never really had any good high school yearbook pictures, so this is just a chance to start over and start fresh, and you can just meet people in line, and it's just fun to show your Troy spirit.
Even though you might have to wait in a little bit of a line, Photo Day is the perfect way for you to make your history here at Troy University. All you have to do is sit down, smile, and snap a photo.
The Palladium is so important because it's the only documented history of the year. Everybody has Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, but 10 years from now, it's going to be gone, and you're not going to have any way that you can look back at your year and look back at your history and have a stamp. Even if you were to Google Troy University 2014, what are you going to find? You're not going to find yourself, so we put you at Troy.
To pick up your copy of the yearbook, you can visit any Palladium member in Wallace Room 107. Dustin Allen, Troy TrojanVision News.
The winners of the individual homecoming competitions as well as the overall homecoming winners will be announced during the second half of Saturday's football game. And normally when you see some of Troy University's music students with an instrument on campus, they're usually making music. Well, one Troy University music fraternity had a piano on the social quad, but the sounds coming from the instrument were far from musical. Victoria Bailey explains.
The Brothers of Phi Mu Alpha held a piano bash Thursday on the social quad. Students were able to pay $1 and come take a swing.
We are hosting a piano bash to help raise money for local school systems to help raise money for their music programs, which is usually the first budget to get cut.
Though the students were able to blow off some steam, the piano bash was to help raise money for local elementary and high school music programs. And one of the Brothers of Phi Mu Alpha tells us why the piano.
More often than not, a piano, especially in like a high school or a middle school, is probably not going to get replaced until like every maybe 15, 20 years. So this piano over here was at the end of its life. So it was beyond repair, and they're pretty abundant in the school systems in the area. So it's really easy for us to take away a piano so they can get a new one, and then we can raise money for other schools.
And students seem to have some fun getting a chance to smash something they wouldn't normally get to.
I had a Facebook friend invite me to it, and I know a lot of the Brothers of Phi Mu Alpha, so it was kind of like a, hey, come out and beat the crap out of the piano type thing.
People were glad to do their part to help out, even though they didn't do as much damage as they'd hoped.
You know, but see the way my body weight is set up and the way the hammer is set up, you know. I took out a little piece of wood. A little piece.
Just smashing the piano wasn't all. The students were able to take a little piece home with them. I'm Victoria Bailey for Troy TrojanVision News.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll hear some of the offerings from our friends at Troy Public Radio. So don't touch that dial.
This could be a bicycle. Or a bat. This could be a robot. Or an airplane. This could be a playground. This could be a book bag. Or a soccer ball. This could be a book. This could be beautiful. This cannot be trash. This can all be recycled. Learn more at thiscouldbe.org.
The warrior spirit, it's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence. Conquer. Claim territory and climb ladders. Know that you have the power to stand alone, but the comfort of knowing that you'll never have to. Discover your inner warrior. Find it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now, more of the award-winning Troy TrojanVision News.
Each week we take some time to hear some of the work done by our broadcast partners at Troy Public Radio. This week we'll get another sample of Talk of Troy, the student-produced newscast of Troy Public Radio. Now, let's take a listen.
It's the Talk of Troy. Voices and sounds from the campuses of Troy University. I'm Joey Hudson. This week, Troy's head coach announced that he's stepping down, but producer David Cadell says he's not stepping away entirely from the Troy football program.
Troy University head football coach Larry Blakeney announced his plan to retire at the end of 2014. Blakeney is a member of the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame and has led the Trojans to 175 victories over his 24-year career, but his announcement comes in the midst of a 0-5 season. Deciding to retire is a tough decision, but Blakeney feels he's leaving the program in a good place.
People care about this program. That will sustain this program through whatever. The next guy here with the interest that the people have in this program will sustain whomever that is to greater heights.
Blakeney announced he does intend to stay in Troy as an advisor to Troy's athletic department. For the Talk of Troy, I'm David Cadell.
Author and historian Dale Cox will be speaking about history and his story. That is his latest book, Millie Francis, The Life and Times of the Creek Pocahontas, at Troy University's Dothan campus on Sunday, October 19th. Cox developed his lifelong interest in history growing up in the town of Two-Egg, Florida. It turns out that even the name Two-Egg has quite a history itself.
There were two little fellows who would come into the store there every day and trade for 2 eggs worth of sugar. And one particular day, these two fellows came in with their eggs, and the storekeeper just lost it and said, blankety, 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 blank, all this is a blankety blank 2-egg town.
Dale Cox will be speaking in the Harrison Room in Malone Hall, October 19th, starting at 3 p.m. Admission is free and open to the public. I'm Joey Hudson, and you're listening to The Talk of Troy, a production of Troy Public Radio.
Throughout the week, Troy Public Radio can be heard on 89.9 in Troy and Montgomery, 88.7 in Dothan, and 91.7 in Phoenix City. And it's time for our last break, but when we return, we'll learn about an upcoming concert on the Troy campus. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
The following is a public service announcement test to determine if you need a fishing license and boat registration before you head out on the water. Let us begin. Are you a pelican? Does this look like your house? Is this your idea of fishing with friends? Do you use your feet as fishing hooks? Are you your own boat? Do you have webbed feet? No, I mean like a... That's the one. Do you want this in your favorite lake? Yuck, yike. No thanks, mister. Regardless how you answered, you need to be licensed and registered because it helps local conservation efforts protect the very natural resources you enjoy boating and fishing in for generations to come. Do your part at takemefishing.org.
Now, more of the award-winning Troy TrojanVision News.
Area music lovers will have a bit of a treat next week as one of the country's premier bands will be performing on campus. Recently had the chance to talk to Troy's Director of Bands, Mark Walker, about the upcoming Air Force Band concert. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. They'll be learning about a musical performance taking place here at Troy University. My guest is Director of Bands, Mark Walker. And even though Mark is here, we're not necessarily talking about any of your bands performing here on campus. We've got a special guest coming here, but you've got a little bit of inside information on what's going on here, and it's the Air Force Band.
That's right. It's the United States Air Force Band and Singing Sergeants from Washington, D.C. They're one of the 5 premier military bands in the country, and they're going to be here on October 13th at 7 p.m. performing in Claudia Crosby Theater.
And so I would think that this is something that doesn't happen that often. I know in my time, I don't know if I've remembered having something like this happen, having a band like this come and perform. So it's got to be a unique opportunity for Troy University.
Right. This is a very rare occurrence. They're actually going on tour, and it's the first tour that they've been on since the federal government went into sequestration a few years ago.
Okay.
So this performance on October the 13th is the opening night of their tour.
Oh, okay.
And they're touring Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. And it's just going to be a fantastic performance. You know, they tour the country in each year, and they go to different regions. And so this is the first time in a long time that any military band from DC has been on the Troy campus. And so this is a very, very unique and very rare opportunity for Troy and for our students to hear one of the premier band ensembles and choral groups anywhere live and in our backyard, and it's a free concert.
Free concert, and you talk about them being premier, and a lot of folks out there who are used to seeing, you know, the work of your bands, you know,
right.
It's good, but this is something, it's a different level.
It's a different level.
You're talking about military precision put to music at this point.
That's right. You know, these the folks that are in the band and in the singing sergeants are graduates of universities and conservatories from all over the world. They are some of the finest musicians, finest singers, finest instrumentalists that you'll find any place, and they are on the same caliber as any major symphony orchestra. As a matter of fact, personnel from the military bands, from these top military bands, and orchestras will trade off from time to time, and they are just absolutely top-notch players that you're going to find any place, and they're going to be on our campus.
On your campus, and they not talking necessarily trading off, but exchanging musicians kind of in a way that some of your students get a chance to help out with the performance.
That's right. As a matter of fact, we've got about 15 instrumentalists and about the same number of vocalists that are going to perform with the Air Force Band and Singing Sergeants. The instrumentalists are going to perform a march called the Southerner by Russell Alexander with the Air Force Band, and they were chosen to do that based upon a number of criteria, but that's really exciting for them. And then a number of vocalists are going to join the Singing Sergeants, I believe, on a rendition of Battle Hymn of the Republic. I think that's correct.
And so it's got to be an amazing experience to be able to, you know, participate in something like that. Do you even get offered the chance to do
That's
something
true.
like
You
that?
know, I've never played with a military band or anything like that, and so these students who are going to have this opportunity are going to get to do something that I've never done, and I've been doing this a long, long time.
Now, let's talk about the concert itself. Like, what can folks expect out of this concert, especially music-wise and performance-wise?
Well, the concert's in two parts. So there's going to be an intermission. The first part is going to be a band concert. There's going to be some serious music, of course, some really exciting overtures, some lighter stuff, marches, military tributes, and that kind of thing. And then the second half of the concert, the Singing Sergeants are going to join the band in a, I guess for lack of a better word, a Broadway review, which they're going to reprise a number of favorite hits from a number of Broadway shows, and it's going to be really, really terrific.
A good variety of music for folks that want to appreciate this sort of thing. And of course, as you mentioned, it's, you know, an opportunity for the public to see this, but your students as well. For music students, I would say this has got to be a unique opportunity that your students have got to be excited to take advantage of.
Absolutely, because like I said, these musicians are some of the finest in the world, and they're going to spend some time with our students here. Free of charge. This costs us nothing except for the time in the facilities. The tickets are free, and so our students are going to get to interact with these wonderful musicians for the day.
And now, at this point, the tickets are sold out. Is that correct?
That's true.
But there is an opportunity for people watching this to see this.
Exactly. There are no tickets left. However, if patrons show up by 6:45 and there are seats available, they will be seated without a ticket.
All right. Well, here's hoping that folks out there who don't have a ticket yet can take advantage of that. And once again, before we go, when and where?
October the 13th. Monday night at 7 p.m. in Crosby Theater.
All right. Well, good luck with the concert. And it sounds like it's going to be a fun time for everybody involved.
It's going to be fantastic.
So thanks.
Thanks very much.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the second week of October 2014. To find out what's happening throughout the week, You can tune in to Troy Trojan Vision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or follow us on Twitter at Troy TV News, or like our Troy Trojan Vision News fan page on Facebook to see links to online content from Troy Trojan Vision News. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy Trojan Vision Weekly. Have a good week.